Okay, so the pectoralis major originates on the medial one half of the clavicle, anterolateral sternum, and inserts on the greater tuberosity of the humerus. Action is humeral adduction and horizontal adduction, flexion, and internal rotation. Okay, so I'll be performing the upper pectoralis major main muscle test. So the patient is going to be supine, so lying on their back with the arm in the air, like this, palm is facing medial, and I'm going to stabilize the opposite shoulder, and my direction of force is going to be pulling them into abduction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Relax.
Relax. And then the other side.
He's going to compare bilaterally.
So palm facing medial, stabilize opposite shoulder. My force of direction is going to be pulling them into abduction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Relax. Okay, this is major muscle test for the lower portion of the pectoralis major. Patient is going to have their arm up in the air, palm facing their feet, and I'm going to push them backwards. So resist me, and I'm going to stabilize the opposite ASIS. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. I'm going to test bilaterally. Same thing. Ready? Don't let me push you down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. So we're going to be testing the pec minor. The origin is ribs 3 through 5. The insertion is the coracoid process, and the action is rounding of the shoulders. So that's what the patient is going to do. I need you to round your shoulders. I'm going to cross my arms and push down. Then let me push you down. Ready? Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
Alright, this is Terry's minor. The origin is the upper 2/3 that actually border the scapula. The insertion is the greater tubercle, and the action is horizontal abduction and external rotation. Just gonna have him do 30 degrees of abduction, and you want to force the hand into internal rotation. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're going to compare bilaterally. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax.
Okay, so I'm going to be doing the main muscle test for the subscapularis, and the origin is the subscapular fossa, and the insertion would be the lesser tuberosity. The action is internal rotation, and to perform the main muscle test, you want to stabilize the elbow so it doesn't move, and you want to try to pull them into external rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Now I'm going to compare bilaterally. Alright, so stabilize shoulder, elbow right here, and then pull them in external rotation. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax.
This is the manual muscle test for the coracobrachialis. You can feel the muscle belly right here if they make a bicep. It's right underneath it here. And then, so you're going to have them do the crazy bird, so you're going to have them in 90 degrees of flexion, a little bit of elbow flexion. And then, so for this muscle, the origin is the coracoid process, the insertion is the medial shaft of the humerus, and the action is humeral flexion and adduction. And we're going to just try to pull them down, stabilize here. Ready? Don't let it break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Compare bilaterally. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. This is the manual muscle test for the biceps brachii. So the long head, it originates on the supraglenoid tuberosity of the scapula, and the short head originates on the coracoid process. It inserts the radial tuberosity and its actions, humeral flexion, abduction, elbow flexion, forearm supination. You can feel the muscle belly right here on the arm. So we're going to have them in elbow flexion here, and we're going to pull it like a lever. Ready? Don't let it break you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Compare bilaterally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
Okay, so we're going to be testing the supraspinatus, which originates at the supraspinatus fossa and inserts at the greater tuberosity of the humerus. The action of the muscle is abduction and external rotation. So the supraspinatus can be palpated right above the scapular spine, which separates the infraspinatus and the supraspinatus. And so for the manual muscle test of this muscle, you're going to have the patient go into abduction, and I'm going to push them into adduction. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. And I'm going to compare bilaterally. So external rotation or external rotation, and push them into adduction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax.
The origin is the lateral 1/3 of the clavicle. The insertion is the deltoid tuberosity. The action is humeral flexion, abduction, horizontal abduction, and internal rotation. So you want to have the arm like this, stabilize at the shoulder, and try to bring them back to the midline. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. Check bilaterally. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax.
Okay, so this is the middle deltoid, and the origin is the acromion process, and the insertion is the deltoid tuberosity, and its action is humeral abduction and flexion. So the patient is going to go into 90 degrees, and I'm going to try to push them down. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. I'm going to test bilaterally. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. All right, this manual muscle test is for the posterior deltoid. The origin is the spine of the scap. The insertion is deltoid tuberosity, and the action is extension, horizontal abduction, regular abduction, and external rotation. So the patient is going to bring their arm right here and a little bit backwards. I'm going to try to push them down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Same thing on the other side. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
This is the upper trapezius manual muscle test. It originates the occipital protuberant superior neutral line and the ligamental nuchae, and the spinous process is C7. It inserts the distal 1/3 clavicle acromion process in the spine of the scapula, and its actions are scapular elevation, upper rotation, C-spine rotation, and C-spine extension. You can feel muscle belly up here. So the manual muscle test, you're going to have the patient bring their ears to their shoulders, and you're going to try to break them. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. And compare bilaterally, ear to shoulder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
This is serratus anterior. The origin is ribs 1 through 8 or 9. The insertion is the coastal surface of the scapula. Angle, the vertebral border of the scapula, inferior angle of the scapula. The action is scapular protraction, depression, elevation, and upper rotation. So you have the patient try to punch to the ceiling. Yep. Hold that. You're gonna push down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax. Then you test bilaterally. Do the same thing on this side. And hold that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and relax.
Well done. All right, now we're going to talk about the triceps. It actually has 3 heads for the origin. The long head originates at the infraglenoid tubercle. The lateral head is the posterior humerus, and the medial head is also on the posterior humerus. Insertion is the olecranon process, and its action is extension, adduction, and elbow extension. So the patient is going to lift up their arm like this with a little bit there. I'm going to stabilize at the scapula. Don't let me push you down. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. I need to test bilaterally, sir. I'm just going to do it like this so you can see. Same thing. Alright, relax. Relax. Relax.
I don't want my thing to fall.
Your arm is not. Okay, stop the video. Alright, for camera purposes, I'm going to be right here. Lift up your arm. not full extension, a little bit less. Hold right here. I'm gonna push down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
This is the infraspinatus manual muscle test. It originates on the infraspinatus fossa of the scapula, right beneath the scapular spine. And it inserts the lateral greater tuberosity of the humerus, and its actions are external rotation and horizontal abduction. So we're going to have them go into 90-90, and we're going to hold here, and we're going to force them into internal rotation. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax, and then compare bilaterally. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, relax. This is the manual muscle test for the teres major. It originates the inferior angle lower to 1/3 of the axillary border of the scapula, and it inserts the medial lip of the bicipital groove of the humerus. And its action is humeral extension and internal rotation and adduction. So we're going to have them reach into their back pocket. We're going to stabilize the opposite scapula, and we're going to push down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Compare bilaterally. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. This is the manual muscle test for the latissimus dorsi. It originates the spinous processes of T6 through T12 and L1 through L5 via the lumbodorsal fascia and the posterior iliac crest. It inserts on the bicipital groove on the humerus, and its actions are humeral extension, internal rotation, and adduction. So for the manual muscle test, you're going to have them with their pinky towards the ceiling and a little bit of horizontal adduction. And you're going to stabilize on the opposite scapula. I'm going to push them down. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Then you compare bilaterally. Same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. This is the manual muscle test for the rhomboids. It originates the spinous processes of C7 through T5 and inserts on the vertebral border of the scapula. Its action, scapular retraction, elevation, and downward rotation. So we're going to have them in a chicken wing position, and we're going to stabilize the opposite shoulder and push them down towards the table. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Compare bilaterally. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.
All right, now we're going to test the trap muscles. We're going to start with the middle trapezius. The origin is the ligamentum nuchae, the spinous process of C7 and T1 through T5. The insertion is the acromion process in the spine of the scapula, and the action is scapular retraction. So this one, you're going to have their arm out to the side with their thumb up in the air and stabilize the opposite scap. I'm going to push them down. I'm going to push you down. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. We're going to test bilaterally. And the same thing. So you can see I'm just going to do it like this. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Okay, now we have the lower trapezius. And the insertion of this one is the spinous process of T8 through T12. The insertion is the spine of the scapula, and the action is scapular retraction and depression. So this one, they're going to be in a Superman position with their thumb still up. They're going to be right here, and I'm going to try to push them down. Stabilize the opposite scap. Ready to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax. Test bilaterally. Same thing. Thumb up. Superman. Ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Relax.